Hello, everybody. I see John, I see Hank, I see Webb, John again, I see Nate, I see Bill, I see Randy. Yo, 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 Randy. Chuck Joyner's in the house. Don's here. Andrew's here. I see Bill again. Whoa. Right. Hey, somebody just retweeted. I think that's Nate actually just retweeted that I'm going live in about 15 minutes. I'm going to throw that over there now. Actually, I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb because that was a trick I learned earlier this week. And then I could have my phone like on top of the microphone and it still wouldn't matter, although it would look weird. Right. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Because, yeah. Am I recording? I am recording. All right. Hey, I nearly ended the stream for no good reason. All right, everybody. It's going to be like that. Stand by. Changes coming to Big Sur and problems getting to it. It is Thursday, the 12th of November, 2020, and this is macOS Ken Live. All right, I need everybody to calm down, okay? Everybody calm down. Hi, I'm Ken Ray, welcoming you into another edition of macOS Ken Live, the show that dares to call itself macOS Ken, but be live. Not even sure what that means. Second half of the show, we will talk about plans to upgrade to Big Sur. I'm curious what yours are. You can't tell me right now, but I would love to hear it. And I'll tell you later how you can do that. First half of the show, though, we're going to go over some of the anticipated changes for Big Sur. Now, let me say, I haven't run the beta. I have not tried to download the update today. I have a friend who works for Apple, not in anything like this side, right? And he was getting very impatient with their lack of releasing Big Sur, so much so that a couple of weeks ago, he went ahead and downloaded the public beta, went into the public beta and did it. Now he's got a couple of Macs. So, if it totally hosed one of them, he'd be fine going with something else or having another machine that he could fall back on. He's absolutely in love with Big Sur. So, okay, I'm not there yet. I'm surprised, though, how quickly I'm planning to get there. Let's go over some of the features. And like I say, we'll do a second half. My plans for upgrading, any misgivings. And of course, the problems that some people had today, because some people had problems today, may be having problems still. First of all, everything that Apple keeps talking about is the massive redesign, which is funny because when you see pictures, it kind of feels like they've been going towards this redesign for a while. It's not as big a change as, was it Aqua that we saw in macOS 10? And yet they say it's the biggest redesign in about the past 10 years. Probably the only thing I'm going to notice after the first day are the differences in the icons, would be my guess. Because they're talking about, sorry, I'm working largely from a piece from Mac Rumors, by the way. The piece from Mac Rumors says it overhauls the entire look of the software from the curvature of the window corners to the dock icons to the iconic system sounds. Everything in the update feels fresh but familiar, with Apple aiming for a lighter and more modern appearance. See, that's what all the pictures look like. To me, it looks about the same. But I don't know how much of that stuff we're going to see anyway, which I'll get to. Sorry, I'm sort of leading ahead with something I was thinking. There's the new control center and the new notification center. I'm kind of excited about the control center, actually, having Do Not Disturb right there on the screen, which I don't know if you heard. I just learned to use Do Not Disturb this week. I've known about it. I just don't think of it. I also like the fact that the music controls are right there because that should be more convenient than having to go back into the music app or whatever. As far as the notification thing, I am almost about to turn notifications off on almost everything I have. I have notifications turned on for news. I have notifications turned on for Twitter, but Twitter is abusing that privilege. I use two Twitter clients, actually, Twitter and TweetDeck. So the one from Twitter for iOS and TweetDeck. And the one from Twitter gives me news every now and then. It'll send me a notification. And I think, well, I need to respond to this. And it's news. Well, I've got Apple News. I've got Apple News Plus, We've all got the emergency alert system. I might find news on Twitter, but I don't go to Twitter for news necessarily. So when they say there are changes to notifications, I'm a tiny bit worried about what those are, but we'll see what we see. And I'm assuming I'll be able to turn them off as well if I want to. The one thing I was wondering about actually with the control center changes are there are things like there is a screen brightness toggle in control center. And of course, there are the volume things in control center. I'm wondering how that changes what's going to turn up on my touch bar, which I use almost as much as do not disturb. Actually, I do use the screen brightness on that quite a bit, and the keyboard brightness somewhat. It depends. There are changes coming to Safari, but we've already seen those changes. If you've upgraded to Safari, 14, Apple has added a new start page that can be customized with wallpapers in various sections, such as reading lists and iCloud tabs for Safari that are more tailored to your individual usage needs. How often do you see the start page on Safari? Maybe, well, I'm sure I don't do things nearly as efficiently as I could. But when they said that they're going to have wallpaper for Safari, I was just like, why? Because I've usually got anywhere from 3 to 9 tabs open at a given time. The only time I might see the Safari page is when I have to, restart my computer or go back into Safari. Like I kill Safari before I start doing this because I don't want anything to slow the machine down. So when Safari comes up, it will have all those buttons. And I guess it could have a wallpaper, but the thing is, I immediately go to history and say, hey, reopen all the tabs from when I closed you last time. And then I'm back to not even seeing a start screen there. It almost feels like an old-fashioned way to use the web, to say, well, it almost feels old-fashioned to say to use the web, but it almost feels old-fashioned to say, we'll put a reading list on your start screen and we'll make the wallpaper so you can make your start screen pretty, as if it ever ends. My Safari usage started 15 years ago, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I do like the there is a change to Safari that I really like. I've been using more and more because I keep 9 tabs open at a time, maybe more, and a lot of them are from news sites. And so if you get too many tabs, what you'll end up with is basically just that little thing that's the logo for whatever site, the little apple that you get for Mac Rumors, or the A, I think, for Apple Insider. And I, like yesterday, I had easily 12, 13 tabs open, and they had just evolved to little icons. And so there were 3 Mac Rumors icons, didn't know which one. What's great is if you hover over that, it gives you actually a preview of the screen, a small preview of the screen, but enough to say, hey, that's the thing I'm looking for. So that's a great change, although you don't have to go to Big Sur for that. I'm running that on Catalina. There are Messages updates. This freaks me out. Messages is more similar to the Messages app on iOS, according to Mac Rumors, with support for pinned conversations, mentions, inline replies, and Memoji creation, and the built-in search feature that's been overhauled to make it a lot easier to find links, photos, and conversations within the app. None of that is stuff that I use in iOS. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. Maybe I'm not a power user. We'll come back to that in a second, though, because that got me thinking a tiny bit. They've also overhauled the Maps app, according to the Mac Rumors piece. The Maps app for macOS has been redesigned with support for look-around, indoor maps, and guides, which are lists and notable attractions and things like that. Okay. What's weird is that sounds great to me. Updating Maps sounds great to me. And updating Messages sounds like a horrible idea. And I think the reason is because I don't want to say I don't care about Maps, but I'm not intimate with Maps, which makes my relationship with Messages sound kind of weird. But think about it. The most intimate app across all of the iOS and Mac stuff, I think, is actually Messages, because that's communication. That's with your friend when you're trying to hook up a recording time, or, back in the day going out. That's, hey, where'd you go? I was just looking for you. I can't find you. That's your significant other. That's your mom. That's your connection, unless you're gonna call somebody like a caveman, that's your connection to somebody, and so when they say, "We're gonna change this, we're gonna make it better, we're gonna make it different," I kind of freak out on messages. You wanna do that for maps? Fantastic. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's an everybody thing. I don't understand pinned conversations and messages because that's not how I use it. I barely understand them in Slack, and maybe that's what the whole thing is about. Why am I going to Slack for one thing and messages for another? Is Apple trying to make it so that I only use messages? I don't know. It's not a complaint. Don't misunderstand. That's just not a thing that I'm looking forward to at all because, what I look forward to is, the little heart emoji or the little, whatever is the happy thing in messages. Or the thing that says, "Hey, you forgot to pay this, jerk." There are also changes to the Photos app. That's fine. I hear there's a better retouching tool in there. Okay, cool. I do use a different app for that. If Photos makes it so I don't have to go to that other app, that's fine. The other app I use though is what's it called? That's ridiculous. Pixelmator. I use Pixelmator for all of my, artwork for the various shows and things that I do. So it's not going to replace that. Will I think to do that? And maybe that's part of the whole thing too. Like they introduce all of these things, and a lot of times I don't start using those things unless the introduction gets in my way. Unless the way I used to use the thing doesn't work anymore, and then I have to figure out how to use it new. A lot of times these new features, as long as they don't get in my way, they end up being features that I don't use, which I think makes me typical consumer. It kind of makes me horrible. Well, I'm nothing like a product reviewer. I'm nothing like a product reviewer. I think it makes me typical consumer. It's kind of amazing that we use any of the new features that Apple introduces. There's also improved battery monitoring, which will be great if we're ever allowed to go outside again. In the meantime, I'm never more than 5 feet from a power cord, so that's fine. It sounds curmudgeonly, and I don't mean for it to sound curmudgeonly. I really am excited about these changes. We'll talk more about it in a minute, but first I want to remind you about a different show that I do. Timing this week was perfect. We had decided on the checklist by Secure Mac to do a show that was about privacy and security features coming up in Big Sur. Almost did it last week, but we knew that the Mac event was coming up this week, so we're like, okay, let's hold off on that one. We'll do it next week though, and we'll do it next week no matter what. Worst that we'll be able to say is, hey, coming up next week is Big Sur. It turns out we actually hit with our privacy and security topics the same day that Big Sur hit, if you were lucky enough to be able to download it. So yeah, that'd be a great thing for you to check out if you would. You can go to Apple Podcasts, search for Ken Ray, or search for Secure Mac, or search for the checklist. Any of those will help you. I mean, you'll find it there. If you search for Ken Ray, you'll find all the podcasts that I do and some that I've been a guest on. And, it's kind of weird how it knows where I've been. And then some shows I've never heard of that have nothing to do with me. Or if you want to check the show notes and, click through the links and stuff like that, securemac.com/checklist. You can actually listen to this week's show. You can listen to all the shows that we've done. If there's a particular security topic that you're interested in, want to know more about VPNs, want to know more about 2FA, you can go there, and all 207 episodes that we've done so far are right there. And some episodes that are just fun as well. So yeah, if you check that out, that'd be great. And then you know why people care about the privacy and security in Big Sur. All right. So I wish this was a call-in show because I would love to hear what your plan is for moving to Big Sur. Instead, if you would like to leave me a voice, I can't do voicemail for this show. If you want to send me an email, info@macoscan.com, or if you want to leave me a comment on this video, that would be great. I will tell you that I am going to Big Sur, the operating system, not the place, I think this weekend, which is weird for me because I waited 6 months to move to Catalina. What was it, Mojave to Catalina? I waited 6 months for that. And the reason I waited as long as I did, well, there were a couple. First of all, I wasn't sure that one of the apps that I use daily or almost daily audio hijack. I wasn't sure whether it was actually going to be compatible with Catalina. And apparently, it just never occurred to me to go to their website and check because I went to the Audio Hijack website today and they're like, yeah, we're totally ready for Big Sur. I'm like, okay, cool then, because that means I'm totally ready for Big Sur. I mean, the one thing I have to check is whether Adobe Audition works. But otherwise, I think I'm going this weekend. I am glad I didn't want to go today. I toyed briefly with the idea of trying to go today, and then I was afraid that I would still be sitting trying to update right through the live show, which would mean no live show. There were, of course, I say of course, there were problems today. Around 1:15 Pacific, 4:15 Eastern, Mac Rumors ran a piece that said the developer site was down as users struggled to download macOS Big Sur. Asked on Twitter earlier, have you made the move? And Grant wrote to me and said that Big Sur had been pulled. And he said, Big Sur, big fail, Mac's crashing all over the place. And apparently, all of that was true earlier. And what's funny is the Mac Rumors piece at around 1:15 Pacific. It is at 1:15 Pacific that Apple's system status page says that they actually got the whole thing under control and it's fine now. So I don't know if there are other problems that Apple is not aware of. If it's just the problem of, hey, I got this article written up, their editor checked it, they said, go ahead and publish. And as soon as they had published, the whole thing was fixed. I don't know. I'm not trying it today anyway. It's kind of amazing to me that they had such a crush on the first day. I know the first day of iOS, it can sometimes take a long time to download your update. The first day of a big iOS update, that is. I know the first day, well, any day for watchOS is just an interminable wait, no matter when you try it. CNET's piece made the whole thing sound really scary because they wrote it up too. They wrote it up actually after the Mac Rumors piece, it looks like. But like I say, Apple's system status page now says it's fine. Does that mean that it's actually fine? I don't know. All it says is it was resolved at 1:15 Pacific, according to Apple's system status page. Some users were unable to download. They say some users. I don't know. If you had the problem, I'd be curious to hear. Although, yeah, what are you going to tell me? Yeah, I had a problem. What kind of problem? Well, the kind where I couldn't download it. Okay, well, that's pretty much what I thought you meant. I said I waited on Catalina for 6 months because I was trying to make sure that Audio Hijacked worked. That was part of it. The other thing was I really didn't want to make the move because of the changes that it made to my life personally as a podcaster. One of the reasons I think I loved iTunes, well, there are several reasons I loved iTunes the way it was. My argument for iTunes was it was the mall. And I know a lot of people hate the mall, but I'm actually okay with the mall. I don't enjoy going to superstores, but I appreciate them. I like the fact that the Target down the street from me, I can pick up a new pair of ear pods and a jar of peanut butter and a new pair of shoes if I need that. I like being able to go to one place. I do also like going to specialty stores at times, but I like being able to go to one place. And that to me is what iTunes was. Additionally, I was encoding my podcast through iTunes or putting the ID3 tags on my podcast through iTunes since the first time I did a podcast 15 years ago or earlier, maybe back when I was doing it for Inside Mac. So getting in there and really messing with the way I do my work, I pushed it off and I pushed it off and I pushed it off until finally it seemed silly to do so. There were things I loved about the Mac OS leading up to Catalina that made me reticent. There's nothing I love about Catalina that I'm going to miss. I mean, it's fine. It's good. It is, like I say about the iPhone, like I say about the iPad, like I say about the Mac. It's what I need when I need it. And now they're saying we got something better. And there's nothing in Catalina, as far as I know, that they're going to kill or that's going to disrupt what I do. And so I'll go ahead and make that move this weekend, I think. Maybe Friday night. I don't know. I'll try to do it in the middle of the night when almost nobody is downloading it, which, of course, is very Western Hemisphere centric. I know there's a whole globe out there. Hopefully Friday night, fun people will have better things to do and I'll be messing around with my computer. I'm excited this time. I don't know why I'm excited. I think it's because I literally feel like I have nothing to lose. As I say, I would love to hear what your experiences have been. Maybe once you actually get it downloaded. Unless you just want to tell me what you're excited about, that's fine too. Info@macoscan.com is a great way to do that. Info@macoscan.com. Or like I say, you can leave a comment right here on this video. And yeah, I'll check back, and who knows, maybe we'll hear your comments tomorrow. If you're here live in the chat room, please stick around. I will be by there momentarily. If you're not here live in the chat room and you never have been, we do this every Monday through Friday, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, other times, other places. There's a great group of people that hangs out in the chat room every day. I love talking to them, and they love talking to each other, it seems. And they would love to welcome you. So think about trying to join us live sometime, Monday through Friday, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, macOS Can Live. Tell your friends. Got macOS Can tomorrow. Oh, Augustrometer on in a few minutes tomorrow, talking about developing in this new world where you just, do it once and it's everywhere. Yes, we're still talking about the One More Thing event and the move to Big Sur. Talk to you soon. I don't know why I'm quiet, because I'll cut the end of that right off. I will. And yet I sit there quietly like, I'm going to mess something up. Hi, everybody, again, or still. Evan is here. I don't know Evan. Hi, Evan. Going to download App Store. Okay, wait, hold on. I need to go back to the top. Ba, ba, ba. Bill says he got the first thumbs up, the new macOS Can live drinking game. Do I do thumbs up a lot? So many things you don't know. Hello, Deborah. I didn't say hello to you earlier. Hi. Do. Bill says he pulled down the release candidate yesterday. How's it been going? Nothing seriously broke. That's good news. Do. Never see the start page of Safari. Launch bar always launches Safari for me with the preset page. Interesting. So you're talking about a home page. Yeah, I don't even do that. I guess I should. I have a home page for Firefox. macoscan.com, oddly enough. Oh, updates to pages, numbers, and Keynote are live as well. Had not seen that yet. Thank you, Richard. Ha ha ha. No, I don't, Matthew. Matthew says there's another unrelated to tech podcast network that he listens to that has a master feed RSS that allows him to subscribe to all of their audio podcasts, and he can listen to the ones he wants. Do I have that? This time last year, I had, I think, one show, because the checklist brought to you by Secure Mac isn't mine. I host it for someone else. Now, I feel certain if I had a master feed, they'd be fine with me putting it in there. So I guess I could. But this time last year, I had macOS Can, and then there was the stuff I was doing for Roddenberry, which I think the Roddenberry Podcast Network actually does have a master feed now, but I don't know that or where it is. It's a fun idea. I'll tell you honestly, Matthew, here, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot. So a couple of years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, Apple opened up the API for calling music from Apple Music, right? I believe this is what Anchor does as well. So you can make a playlist, and if somebody, has the app, well, how does it work? So let's say you had a game and you wanted music to play inside, someplace in the game. You can actually use music from iTunes, right? Not iTunes, Apple Music. So if the player has an Apple Music subscription, it'll call that music and it'll go ahead and play it. If the player does not have an Apple Music subscription, I don't know what it does. I know with the podcast app Anchor, which is, sort of its own production platform, you can play music from Apple Music or from Spotify. And what Anchor does is the API looks to see if you have a subscription to one of those. And so if I, in my show, have said, play Let's Go by the Cars, it will play the whole song if you have a subscription to one of those services. If you don't have a subscription to one of those services, it'll just play the 30-second clip and then come back into the show. I want to build a radio station with that. That's basically what I'm saying. I would like to. It would be a neat thing, I think, for podcasters. I would love to get a few different podcasters on so we could program a day of, music and talk, like a radio station. It's a crazy idea, and I would need a developer to do it. And it would have to be a developer who'd be okay making no money unless they, wanted to take a small amount of money to just build the app and give it to me. But that's the closest thing to a master feed that I've ever thought about, which is just, put in my shows and then put in music. Because secretly, all I really want to be is a high-paid DJ. Not like Idris Elba, more like Morning Guy Ty, except high-paid. It's not even a thing that exists anymore, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that was a long answer to your question, Matthew. The short answer is no, I don't have a master feed. But I don't know, maybe. Why not? Interesting. Chuck, did you buy? Chuck says he is waiting for his new MacBook Air to see how Big Sur is going to work for him. I haven't even talked to you, Chuck, and I'm sorry I have not had a chance to watch your show yet. Although, is it another 3-parter? Because I know Chuck did a giant thing after the One More Thing event. Well, I shouldn't say giant because I don't know how many people were there, but I know they're on part 2 now. I'm curious, Chuck, if you bought a MacBook Air, and I will check down at the bottom here to find out momentarily. Andrew is still getting installation failed messages from software update, and the reboot of the Mac didn't help. So apparently it's not all. See, that was another thing that I meant to talk about, except we don't know exactly what the problem was. I assume that the problem that Apple had today was too many people trying to download it at once, which does that usually happen for a macOS update? For iOS, I know that'll happen. And now that iPad OS is a totally different operating system and not actually the same thing, just called something else. I know that that's the kind of thing that will happen with iOS. I'm really surprised at the amount of trouble that they're having with macOS. Excellent. Nate says, thanks for the Ted Lasso recommendation that they watched episodes 8 and 9 tonight. Does that mean you're at the end? Oh, take care. Well, I guess Ken's already left. Good night, Ken. Take care. Not talking to myself. Do. Huh. Okay, so Chuck says that his One More Thing event show is a 3-parter. So episode 3 will be out, I would guess, either tonight or tomorrow. You should just be listening to Mac Voices anyway, though, or watching it. You can catch it on, well, Chuck, will you tell everybody where they can catch it? Because I was about to say you can find it here on YouTube, but I don't actually think you can. Not that show. So what Chuck did, by the way, is he traded in a MacBook Air that he wasn't using, which made the price compelling enough for the new MacBook Air. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of everybody who got any new piece of hardware this year, although my HomePod Mini is coming next week, so I'm excited about that. Reviews are out for that. Might talk about it tomorrow. Might wait until I actually get my HomePod Mini. I'm not sure. Should be here next week. The Ken Ray Total Entertainment Network. I like that idea. Who wouldn't? almost at the end. I'm sorry, Nate is saying that he's almost at the end of Ted Lasso. Man, I love that show. I'm almost ready to go back and watch that. And I just finished it like whenever it finished. I saw the last episode the day that it came out. And I mean, it's easy because it's only 10 episodes and they're only half an hour each, but I'm almost ready to go back and watch that. I have already gone back and watched Mythic Quest again, um, which held up. It held up. It's not Ted Lasso, but it's a really good show as long as you're cool with lots of cursing and a bit of cartoon violence. Oh, okay. So Chuck does actually release the show on YouTube. So it's available as an audio podcast, or it's also available on YouTube. So yeah, check it out. It was a tremendous amount of fun on the what was I on, Chuck? I was on the Time Flies episode, I believe. Sorry I couldn't make it this week. Um, they're a lot of fun though. It's a good group of people there. So go check that out. Hey, Nate says that he's going to have Big Sur in about an hour. Well, I would say it's late, Nate, but it's actually early now. So stay up. Nate's in the UK, by the way. Well, you're really thinking about this network thing, Matthew. If you're serious, send me an email because I love the way you're thinking. If not, yeah, I have, yeah, well, one day or not. It's tough to say. Yeah, see, it's Friday now, says Nate. So it's not here yet, but here's the thing. Thursday is grocery shopping day, which I hate, but I need to go do it. So I'm going to go turn this around into an audio podcast, and we'll meet back here tomorrow. Thank you guys and gals for coming here, for hitting the like, for subscribing, for telling people about it. I love that you guys are here doing that while I'm doing this, and then we all get together. It's fantastic. So thanks. It means the world to me. Doesn't mean the world. I mean, take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow.